right, welcome in, boys. First NASCAR show of the year. Take it to the bank, Coda. With me, as always, my NASCAR partner in crime, Reed Cooper, for the last however many years. Excited to be here. Cooper, how are we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right. Hanging in there.
We're hanging in?
Hanging in there. Taking it day by day. And, we'll see where this journey takes us, man.
All right. That's fine. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with, this is not the first NASCAR race of the year. It's the third. Well, in the regular season. For me, for my money, it's where the season starts because I hate betting super speedways. I know you're not a giant fan of betting them either. What were your thoughts on the first couple super speedways? We were at Daytona. Will Byron wins Sunday at Atlanta. Didn't have a chance to watch the race. I was at Abby's wrestling tournament, but who won? Chris Bell won, right?
Yes, he did.
What were your thoughts on Daytona and Atlanta?
I thought Atlanta was a better race from a fan's perspective. It was totally not the race I was expecting to see. I was expecting for the first stage and probably in the second stage, a lot of single file racing until the end, or when cautions came out, then, the restarts again for a couple laps and then they would get back into a single file. Didn't happen. They decided to race 2 and 3 wide, mostly 2 wide, for the vast majority of the entire race, which was very good from an entertainment standpoint. I think the fans enjoyed it. All the drivers that I've heard make comments have enjoyed it, thought it was great. It was an enjoyable race. The ratings were good. The Xfinity ratings have been really good for the first 2 races. But from a betting perspective, can't bet it, man.
It's brutal.
I went into the race on Sunday with plan of, took Blaney and took Cindric to win the stage. And if they won, it was going to take the 2.5, 3.5 units and roll it over into outrights.
Right.
Unfortunately, as I said, the stage didn't plan out the way I expected it to. The last 4 races in Atlanta, either first place or second place starter has won stage 1. And unfortunately, this time, I think Josh Berry ended up getting it from third place. But, there was several drivers who were up there competing for it because of the 2 wide racing that I did not expect to see. I didn't expect, like on Saturday, you saw Austin Hill and Kyle Busch be able to get to the back end of the car and go below and make a pass.
Right.
I'm sure that was going to be able to happen in the Cup, simply because of the way the cars are designed. But, man, they did. They were able to do it. And, near the end of the race, there were, 3 or 4 laps where Cindric and Berry just went back and forth doing it to each other. And, back and forth doing it. But, Chris Bell won. The first 2 races of the year, the winner has led 1 lap. The most important. So,
I did not watch any of the race, but around the time that stage 1 ended, I went into Discord and I saw somebody post a comment that Josh Berry won stage 1. I almost fell off my chair that a Penske car did not win stage 1. I could not believe it because I thought the racing was going to be exactly the same way.
Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney spent more time in 8th to 14th place in stage 1 than they
No
did.
shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, shout out to Johnny. He probably put the only real legitimate good bet of the whole day out there. I think he got Josh Berry at 25-1 or maybe 28-1.
To lead stage one?
No, to win the race.
Oh.
And, I mean, I could have made, 15 bets before I got to Chris Bell.
Right.
The guy spent 44% of the race in the top 15.
Jesus.
So, and it really wasn't until the last 25, 30 laps that he was in the top 10, the top 5, area. But
it's so hard.
Great viewing experience for the fan, and just a horrible betting experience for people who want to bet. I think it's even tougher to bet that race than what it is Daytona.
Because of how easily cars could just get out front if they want to.
That plus really at Daytona, you can go in at the beginning of the race and you can take shots at 50-1, 60-1, 71s.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the attrition, they could be there at the end. You really didn't see anybody from a long shot perspective up at the front during this race whatsoever. So, that 25 that Johnny got was a great number. Meyer called out, Hocevar, I think probably like 20, 25 laps into the race. Hey, he's 200-1, man. And, immediately after he, did that, he didn't bet it, looked at it. I think it went to 80 or whatever. So some people hit 80, some people hit 60, but he had to sit there and sweat the whole race because Hocevar was in the top 10, like top 15, excuse me, like 90% of the race. And he was in the top, probably 7 or 8, a good majority of that race. And, I don't know. It was just tough for him to sweat it, man, because, guy finished second. He was shitting his pants, man.
Let me ask you this. I saw 2 things on social media after the race. One, Carson Hocevar did not make any friends. And number 2, why can't cautions just be consistent? Do you think a caution should have fell at the end of that race?
Yes. From a safety perspective, yeah. It was a 1.5-mile track versus a 2.5-mile track. Look, it's a no-win situation. It's a judgment call. It's a gray area. It's never going to be consistent, unfortunately, because every accident is different. The length of the tracks are different. They can't, it's just got to be a judgment call, and they have to stick with it. And it's not like other sports where you can go in and review it. You can't review this and go back and reset it, and do it. It is what it is. I really think that it's not going to change because you hear a lot of people say that it's due to the fact of you win and you're in. And yeah, I agree. It is to a degree in that, but I think it's just more flat out the playoffs. Because the majority of these wrecks that occur happen between the 8th place running position and 20th. They typically don't happen right at the front. All right. Which is where you would consider racing for the win.
Right.
The other people, they're just racing for points and trying to get a couple more points here and there, because 16 of them get into the playoffs and they're fighting for every point. So I think until that changes, it's going to continue to happen. And, I know people want the consistency, but again, every wreck's different. And, the guy who has to hit that button has the worst job in the world because no matter what he does,
People are going to complain.
he's not going to be wrong. So,
yeah.
As far as Hocevar goes, fuck it. Let the kid continue to do what he's doing.
You had no problem with the way he drove?
Well, I mean, I really didn't see, what they were talking about and stuff. I just heard what they were talking about. I mean, other than, when, he ran into the back of Blaney. I saw that. But, I mean, the kid's comments, I'm here to win a race. Like that kid can be it.
He's got that dog in him, Coop.
It can be it. He makes moves on the racetrack.
He's KB. He's a young KB.
No other young driver makes.
He's a young KB. I'm telling you.
And on top of that, he has the personality. To attract people. Like he could be a legitimate superstar. If he continues to play things right and he continues to improve. Does he need to mature? Sure. Definitely. 100%. The kid's 21 years old, man.
Right.
But he's there to win, and that's the way it needs to be, not there to make friends,
Yep.
How big of a win, there's a lot of people out there that say Spire needs to win this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Carson wins a race some way, somehow.
I wouldn't either.
That car was fast. And I mean, I saw an interview afterwards. Like Ross went and talked to him. Blaney went and talked to him. Kyle Busch was very vocal on his radio.
Oh, I heard. I watched it. I watched the video today. He lost his mind. Yeah.
But, all right, I saw an interview with Busch afterwards. Busch never went and talked to Hocevar. And I think, in my mind, the reason he didn't is he knows he would have been doing the exact same damn thing. And Busch, in that interview, said, look, he had a fast car. And he made some great moves. But the timing of those moves, maybe they didn't need to happen at lap, with 200 laps left. Maybe they happened with 30 laps left. That was his big beef, I think. But, I think Busch not going in and talking to him, he knew exactly. Like, he knew he would have done the same damn thing.
Yeah.
At his age. But no, I think I would not be surprised if he had already won. If he was in a Busch JGR car or a Hendrick car, he may have already won a race.
I'm with you.
Some of the moves he puts on out there, like he's racing.
And doesn't Spire have that engine deal? Don't they get their motors from Hendrick?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's probably going to be in pretty solid equipment the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
just
with
a
driver right now that you either really like or you really don't like, and I happen to like him.
Yeah, put me in the we love him camp. So yep.
I just think he has a lot of talent, man. And during the rain delay in the Daytona or whatever, he's sitting there, on playing Sims and stuff, and racing, and a couple of years ago, he's going through the garage interviewing people during a rain delay. Like he's got the personality to be it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. The real first non-road course race is coming up on Sunday.
No, this is a road course race.
I mean, I'm sorry, non-super speedway race is coming up on Sunday. It's a road course. We're at COTA, Circuit of the Americas. So they reconfigured the track. I guess we were running on a track that was a little smaller than 3.5 miles. And now we're running about 2/3 of that. It's a little under 2.5 miles now. New layout has 20 turns. Just like a full course. So manufacturer wise, I don't know, man. It's so for the first couple races in a format every year, whether it's a road track or a cookie cutter or a short track, it's always very hard for me to handicap because I don't know if you look at the format late in the year prior, or you look because it's the beginning of a new year, you look at that track the year prior or the 2 years prior. I always am a little wishy-washy on the first couple races on a format for the new year. Where do you tend to be with that?
So backtrack just 1 second. They're also bringing a new tire to this track, and we've heard this many, many, many times over and over again.
Tire's going to wear more. Tire's going to wear more, Cooper.
Yep. That's what they're saying. All right.
Okay.
Now, if I had $1 for every time they said that,
you wouldn't have to bet on NASCAR anymore.
Probably not. One of these days they're going to hit it though. So, but just keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
And while we're speaking about tire wear,
did they test that tire here?
I've been looking and I don't know.
Okay.
They had to have tested it somewhere because the rest's not going to bring a tire without any testing.
Normally, we know the drivers that tested the tire.
Right. So, I was talking to Meyer, and he brought up that last year in the Xfinity race, 5 laps left. Kyle Larson pitted, put on new tires. And then in those 5 laps, he drove from 24th to 1st. Okay. So obviously not against, as stellar competition as what you would see in Cup. And also a different tire in general. Okay. So that right there tells you tires really could matter in that piece. But then I started thinking, and I went back, and I think Adam said too, Chris Bell stayed out at the end of stage 1 last year. He did this race in 2 stops. So he was the leader, stage 1, or going into stage 2. And by the time he pitted, he'd only lost five spots. So you would have thought he would have lost more.
Say that to me one more time. He only pit twice.
Right. He only pit twice in the race.
Right.
He stayed out at stage 1.
Right.
He started in first place in stage 2.
Right.
When he made his pit stop to change his tires,
right,
he'd only fallen back to 5th place.
Wow. So why? Because the field resets at the end of stage 1. So it's not like he had a huge lead where cars came in, right?
Right. So I'm just saying, it's kind of 2 different things right there with how Nelson went through the field, but yet Bell didn't back up to the field.
Right.
So, just take it for what it is. We don't know what it means from a tire wear perspective and things of that nature. But, this is a race where also we could see more drivers this year choose to do that 2-car strategy. 2-pit strategy that Bell took on. So anyways,
I assume
just wanted to add that in.
I assume that you're going to say to me that your 2 favorite manufacturers in this race are Chevy and Toyota. Because if you look at 2022, 2023, 2024 COTA, the top 10 finishers on average finish in 2022 to 2024 is either a Chevy or a Toyota. Austin Cindric would be 11th, with the caveat that last year he finished 20th in this race.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
I mean, the Toyota and Chevy had the superior road course drivers.
Yeah. Okay. Now, strategy, like betting theory. Are you looking at what these cars did in this race the last couple of years? Or are you looking at how these guys finished the last few road courses at the end of last year?
Are you talking about how I want to get my pre-race bets down?
Yes. Who you're like when you're trying to figure out in your head, who are my contenders? What data am I looking at to base my contenders? Are you looking at Coda the last couple of years because it's the first race of the year for a new year in terms of like road course race? Or are you looking how they finished on road courses at the end of last year?
I'm looking at qualifying.
All right. All right. All right.
You know why I'm looking at qualifying?
You want to see what's going on with that fucking tire?
No, I want to have the best numbers possible on the drivers who I think are going to start near the front. Because
I want to have the best numbers possible.
Right.
On the drivers that I think, yeah, but ordinarily the drivers that start in the front are the worst numbers.
They will be.
Okay.
After qualifying.
So I'm confused now.
Okay. So I'm trying to hit drivers who I think are going to qualify in the top 4 or 5.
Okay.
Because if they were 8 or 9 to 1, that number is going to get cut to 4, 5, depending upon where they were at.
Oh, so you're looking at previous years qualifying.
Yeah. I can't look into the future, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you screwed me up.
If I could look into the future, man, I would be really rich.
Okay, so you're looking at who qualified well in this race to get the best numbers on them, which will give you more room to bet whoever you need to bet in game.
It all clicked on you.
Yes. What threw me off was previous years qualifying. Okay, I got it. Okay, that tracks. That makes
because as well as I know that the top 2 or 3 are going to be 5 or 1 or less after qualifying, depending upon who they are.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if the favorites qualify well, it's going to be well below that. That's where they are now.
And what we've seen traditionally in road courses is after qualifying, the books are really low number-wise on those 2 or 3 drivers that qualify and practice well. And then as it gradually goes down, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And like drivers like Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, I don't know, they're probably 30, 35 to 1 right now to win the race. I guarantee you on Sunday, if they don't do well from the qualifying perspective on Saturday, you're going to get them at 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Not that I'm interested.
Would you want to bet him at that point?
No. I'm just saying, I'm just using them as an example. All right. So let's say, Alex Bowman. All right. He might be a bad example because of his results.
Alex Bowman's a bad example.
But if he doesn't qualify, let's say he qualifies 17th, that 18 to 1 is going to go at least to 25 or 30. Even though he has a good record here.
You're saying because the books are not going to think he can drive through the entire field. or
No,
half the
I mean
field.
they're just heavy on the top 2 or 3, and it gradually gets better and better from a betting perspective, for us. But that's why I really want to try to hit the drivers who I think are going to qualify well.
Yeah, I mean, I buy the logic.
I mean, look, there's probably 8 to 10 drivers who have a very good chance of winning this race.
That's what I said, 8 to 10.
There's probably another 4 to 5 that have a
Outside shot.
somewhat good chance at winning this race. And then there's the rest of the field.
Yep. Totally agree.
No.
Okay.
You're not going to see Josh Berry this week. If Josh Berry were to win this race, man, like we've had some major catastrophes going on.
Yeah.
And another thing to keep in mind when you look at data from last year's race, I don't know how much you can weigh it.
Why?
There was no true cautions in that race.
Only the stage breaks.
Yep. So, the ones before had 8 and 9. Obviously, 2 of them were the stage breaks, but still a lot more cautions. And a lot of it was from debris.
All right. So for people that don't know, Coop and I are going to be we used to always do this pod on Friday nights after the truck race. Sometimes it would be a super late night. People would only get a day, maybe, to watch the video. So Tuesday nights, Coop and I are going to do the outright markets. We're going to come back on Thursday nights. We're going to do the prop markets. And then obviously we'll be live on the weekends for all the races like normal. So we're only going to stick with the outright markets tonight. We'll come back on Thursday night after Tommy and Johnny's podcast. We'll do the prop show. And that's it. So let's hop into it. Let's go through the outright markets. I'm going to look. I have all the books pulled up. I'm just going to look at one of them for now. Go with FanDuel. Okay. SVG. Your odds on.
Let's start somewhere else first.
Okay. Where would you like Connor Zilich?
No.
That fucking nonsense?
No. Well, let's start with what is the opening number?
5-1.
5-1. Yep.
What am I missing?
I don't know. Some guy I know very well was trying to tell me it was going to be 250.
No, I said to you that it would be.
Here we go.
No.
Oh, here we go. I feel like I'm going to have to be Johnny now. Go watch the tape.
Old man, I will go watch the tape. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. I will go watch the tape. Do you remember the number that you said they would be?
6, which is pretty damn close to 5.
That's okay. And what do you remember what I said?
250.
Did I say 250 or did I say under a certain number?
I'm 95% sure you said 250.
Okay. Well, I will review the tape and we will revisit this convo on Sunday afternoon. Okay.
And you thought I was crazy.
Yeah, I did. I could have swore I said it would be under 4-1, which is, I'm still wrong. That's what I thought I said. But if I said it would be under 4-1, technically, I'm only 1 cent.
Right. We're splitting hairs.
Yeah. But I will go back and watch the tape. All right. SVG, 5-1. The guy's a freak show, Coop. We know that. At least in Xfinity, he's a total freak show. He has won though, right? How many road courses did he win last year? He won He won the Chicago street race, right?
Not a
Last
road
year.
course. It's not a road course.
What is it?
It's a street course.
There's a difference?
Yeah. There's big buildings in the streets.
This guy.
How many road courses has he won?
I'm about to check that out right now.
In Cup.
I'm guessing you're going to say 0.
I don't know the answer. I want to say 0, but I could be wrong. It could be 1. But I think it is 0.
All right. So you're not going to count the Chicago street race as a race?
It's a street course.
And another name for street is what?
Avenue.
And road? Isn't road technically another name for street?
Lane.
This guy. Okay. All right. So no, you're right. If we're not going to count it as a win, he has not. His best finish would have been second last year at Watkins Glen.
All right. Second at Watkins. How did he do with Sonoma? Did he race Sonoma last year?
He did not.
Okay.
He did not.
And then he finished 20th, I think. So this is his third true road course. Because again, the Roval's not a road course.
Right.
But when you look at true road courses, this third one. And look, I'm not saying the guy's not good or anything. Don't get me wrong. All right.
Let me ask you.
It's tough.
All right. Since we're on SVG, let me ask you this. Ross Chastain, I know we're not there yet, but he's very good here. Very good here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But SVG, many people consider a road course cheat code.
Right.
Who does Trackhouse give the best car to? Do they give it to SVG or do they give it to Chastain?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that's kind of overblown. Like,
you don't think it's a team like that doesn't get many opportunities to win is not going to put themselves in the absolute best position to win? We're not talking about Hendrick.
Do you think Hendrick and JGR have a number 1 car? And they say, oh, let me see who I can give it to this week?
No, but I mean, because they're all fucking number 1 cars. It's Hendrick Motorsports.
Right.
Trackhouse is not that.
I don't know. Like, I could be completely wrong. And I know, they had that chassis and they said, the chassis was in this car and it was really good. And then they changed it to another. Like, they might not even have that chassis anymore.
You're right. It's hard to know.
Right. You don't know. Like, we don't know. And like, that's why it is what it is. I don't worry about it because I'll never know until the race actually happens.
Well,
no.
Just keeping in with your qualifying take. This guy has only qualified in the top 20. 1, 2, 3, 4 times out of the 12 races he raced last year. They were both the Roval. I'm sorry, they were both quote unquote kind of road courses. Watkins Glen, he started 3rd. He started 1st at the Roval. And the Chicago Street Course. He started 5th.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have not made a determination on whether or not I will bet Shane Van Gisbergen pre-race.
Like, I don't know where I'm at either, to be honest. Now, don't get me wrong.
Like, but the thing is, like,
the one piece we haven't talked about with him? He's not in a call-it car this year.
No, he's in a track house car.
Right. So, like, I mean, man, Trackhouse knows how to set that number one up to be good here.
Maybe.
Well, not maybe. They know how to set that car up to be good here.
I don't know. I mean, like the one thing with SVG is like, even if he doesn't qualify well, like I don't see his number going past like 850.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Probably sub double digits, no matter where he qualifies, given what he's done in Xfinity.
Mhm.
I don't really disagree.
Right.
You're, but if he's on the pole, what's that number? You think
250.
cut in half?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't you
don't
think?
know. Like, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably not wrong. Maybe 3-1, maybe.
That would be a pipe dream.
Oh, you think maybe even lower than 250?
I wouldn't be surprised if like Caesars is at 2-1.
That's fucking wild. That's wild.
I mean, listen, all right. Ryan Blaney was 350 after qualifying last week in a super speedway package.
Ryan
350.
Ryan Blaney?
Yeah.
At Daytona, he closed 350?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. He closed 350. Last time I saw him, he was like 650.
350.
Wow.
Some books had 450, 550, but there was a lot of 350s out there.
Wow. Like when I think of, like, don't get me wrong, could this guy shit on the field? I guess. I mean, if he's got the car, yeah, he could shit on the field. But man, when I think about guys like Bell and Gibbs and Byron and Bowman and Reddick, I mean, you got to get through a lot of fucking guys, man. Like, there's going to be a lot of cars that are really good in this race because there are so many cars that consistently finish in the top 7 or 8 at this track.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a really short number.
But yeah, at this point, I'm probably going to be taking my chances. I don't know. We'll see. Because, like I said, there's 8 to 10 drivers I would really like to bet, and obviously he's one of them.
Right. But you can't bet everybody. Right. All right. After him, Connor Zilic. Boy, oh boy. So I was picking my daughter up off the floor Sunday night. And I got home, didn't even look at anything. Woke up Monday. I saw that some books hung like 200 to 1 on Zilic, and then some books had 100. I guess I understand if you hit that guy at 200, but then Meyer tells me they take him off the board. They bring him back at 20. They take him off the board. They bring him back at 10. Then he goes to 8. Then he goes to 7. What are we even talking about? So you're telling me right now that this kid who raced in Xfinity and won is a bigger favorite than Tyler Reddick on a road course? What? Make it make sense, Coop.
Like, I don't think we were ever given a fair shot at what his true watch should be, because MGM was the book that put out. I never saw 200 to 1. I did see 2 100 to 1 tickets. All right. And both of them were for 20K. So they have at least $40K in liability on him. And I'm sure there were some other people that hit him. So for them, it's all about the liability. They don't want nobody else betting him. Unfortunately, I assume that other books look at the number, or they talk, they heard, whatever. And they were like, hey, we don't want to be like MGM. We're going to play it safe. We don't want no money on them. So they just open them up at 7-1, 6-1, whatever, it is. So, like, I don't think those are the true odds of what the book thinks they are. I think the book's just protecting themselves to not have a bad day.
What do you think his odds should be in this race?
I think I would have, if I was a bookmaker, I would have opened him up at 25.
So you would have basically, because,
and I can tell you,
Alex Bowman opened up at I saw 24. So you would have, with Alex Bowman, with a guy that's finished second, third, and fourth here the last 3 years, you would have set that kid at the same odds?
Yeah.
Why? You think he's that good?
Well, he blew the Xfinity field out in his first race. In his first truck race, he forgot how to turn left in the first corner and ate some tires. Fell to the back, drove to the front. Then he had another issue. Fell to the back, drove right back to the front. So in his 2 road courses, he's been extremely good. Now, this is a whole new ball game. Okay. He should have a pretty decent car at worst. Okay. Being a Trackhouse car.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's good at this type of format. We also know he's just racing for the win. Points don't mean shit to him. So he can take the optimal strategy at any time, it's deemed throughout the race.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that going for him too. Am I going to say he's going to win? No, I don't think he's going to win. All right. But if he top 10s, I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever. If he top 5s, I'm not going to be surprised. If he finishes 24th, not going to be surprised. It's we don't know what's going to happen.
That's what I said. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't even finish the race.
Right. But well, if he doesn't finish the race, it's most likely not his doing. Because the kid is good at what he does. Let's not forget it.
I'm not saying he's not good, but
right.
You're not going up against people that should be driving bread routes now.
Right. I don't disagree. But, I thought 25 was a fair number. Even if you open him at 25, I feel confident that number probably would have got bet down to 15 at least.
Really?
Yeah. 25-1 is a long shot in today's world.
You think he's better than Ty Gibbs?
Are we specifically talking road courses?
I'm saying Ty Gibbs has been driving in some of the best equipment in NASCAR for years, and the kid can't get a win. And I know you're very high on him. I think he's good. I know you think he could be it. I think he's very good.
No, I don't know if he can be it. He ain't got the personality to be it.
But when I think about Ty Gibbs in that car, and then I think about this kid in his first NASCAR race, I'm like, it's a tough ask, man. I cannot believe those odds. I cannot believe those odds.
I'm not going to bet him. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. But
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I get it.
Unfortunately, the book made a bad mistake, and we don't know what the true number would ever have been. So, but
But here's my thing. Like,
he's good.
I mean, I guess you can make the argument. What do you think the liability is on Kyle Larson in a given week when he's 6-1? How much actual dollars exposure do you think?
I couldn't tell you because I don't know. I know it's not a lot, relatively speaking, to other sports. What's bet on NASCAR? But if Blaney, Logano, and Kyle Busch were the biggest liabilities last week to MGM.
Man, that's for $40,000 a liability, which is nothing in the grand scheme of a sports book when we're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah, but I'm sure they don't look at it like that. I'm sure that they look at it through individual sports and what the budget is for that sport and things of that nature.
You could be right. All right, let's move on.
You're not betting, are you?
Huh?
Are you betting him?
I am not betting him. No. If he beats me, he beats me.
You think he qualifies top 10?
How many? Is this his first time in a next-gen car?
Yes. I mean, like this isn't Helio Castroneves getting no car.
How old is he?
18. I need to remind you of something also. He's 3 years younger than Ty Gibbs. You make it sound like Ty Gibbs has been around for 35 years.
He's got a lot of cup experience compared to that kid.
He also lost his father during that time.
All right. Don't get sentimental on me. Jesus Christ. All right.
He's been through a lot, man.
All right, man. My gut says he does not qualify in the top 10 in his first ever qualifying in an entirely new car with the caliber on that track.
Do you think this pressure's on him? Or do you think it's a no pressure situation?
I think it's at 18. I think it's probably as close to a no pressure situation, I think, as you can have on a big stage. Because let's be honest, if this kid is the next second coming, if he shits the bed, it means nothing. He's still going to eventually end up in a cup car full time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
What?
A guy that you know dear and personally decided to step into the die-cast arena.
Yeah, Meyer. I know Meyer was going to get in a die-cast. Tell me he bought a Connor Zillage car.
He bought a Connor Zillage car.
Do you know what car I told him to get, Coop? I told him to get the old school Darrell Waltrip fucking Monte Carlo Super Sport
with Tide on it.
Yes, man. Yes. And he was like, maybe he comes out with Connor Zillage. Jesus Christ.
Them young whippersnappers, man.
What does your gut say? Do you think he qualifies in the top 10? There are so many good guys at the top of the field.
I do not.
Yeah, my gut says no.
But I don't think he's far from it.
Okay. Do you think he's like 12 to 18 range?
I just want to remind you, Corey LaJoie qualified in top 10 in this race last year. So crazy things can't happen.
Yeah, okay, maybe. All right, mistakes were made.
Yeah.
All right. Tyler Reddick. I mean, what is there to say about the guy, right? Because, he's finished second, first, and fourth at this track in this race in the next gen car. He is the best Cup regular road course driver for sure. If we're not going to count SVG, like, he wasn't always a NASCAR guy. I don't know how you don't have a Tyler Reddick ticket in your pocket, especially at that number. I mean, we were betting Tyler Reddick to win road courses at 4-1 a year and a half ago. And it's not like the kid's all of a sudden gotten worse in the format. He's just as good as he was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 8.5-1 is offensive. So yeah, I will have Tyler Reddick. What are your thoughts on Tyler Reddick?
Same thing. I'll have him. I think you can get him at 850 right now at FanDuel. Definitely have him. He's qualified in the top 5 all 3 years. Finished really good all years. And, he's just become a very good road course driver with very good equipment. And I think he is one that, if he qualifies first, second, or third, you'll be hard pressed to get a 5-1 on him.
Yep, totally agree. Will Byron 9-1 again. I will have a Will Byron ticket in my pocket in some type of way. Will Byron, if you throw out his finish in 2022, he is the best car over the last 2 years on this track. I don't know, and he's qualified very well here in 2 of the 3 years. So I don't know how you don't take Will Byron seriously. I mean, I kind of think Byron and Bowman, I don't know, maybe not, but you never really know because, like you said, like, is there a top car at Hendrick Motorsports ever? I don't know, but I would probably say that Byron and Bowman, my gut says that they could continue to finish better than Elliott and Larson at this track. As far as Will Byron at 9-1, I think that's a fair price. I think you got to take him seriously. I'll probably have a Byron ticket in my pocket. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'll definitely have one. All the reasons you said. Add on to it, Will Byron has won the majority of races at the beginning of the year. So he's a fast starter.
Fair point.
He's, one of them drivers, he puts himself, in a good spot. And,
yep. Then disappears for a little bit.
Well, not at this race. He was very dominant last year.
Oh, no, not at this race, but I'm saying, like, the deeper you get into the year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'll definitely have some Willie B.
Agreed. Chris Bell 10-1. Kind of think right now, Coop, that these are my top 3 guys: Reddick, Byron, and Bell. I don't know how you don't take Chris Bell seriously. He was very good on road courses late in last year, and he's been very, very good here. Now, if you look at his finishes, you're like, eighth at in 2022, 14th in 2023, although it did get better. But if you look at that race last year, he was the best driver by a mile late in the run. And
he could have very well had the best car here last year. He just took that alternate strategy. It almost paid off for him, but it quite didn't. But he had an extremely fast car. I'll definitely have some Chris Bell. He's a very good qualifier too. In general, he might be the best qualifier out there today when you look at all different track types. William Byron,
like overall qualifier,
right? William Byron could challenge him because he's better than him on the super speedways. But Bell's very good on the mile and a halfs, and they're probably comparable to each other on the short tracks. But they're probably the 2 best qualifiers in the sport right now.
I can't disagree with it. All right. So we're on the same page with those three guys. Kyle Larson, 11-1, Chase Elliott, 13-1. I don't know what to make. Why do you think that Will Byron? I mean, don't get me wrong, Chase Elliott hasn't been bad here. He's got the eighth best average finish. So he hasn't been bad here by any stretch in the next gen car. But why do you think Will Byron and Alex Bowman have been better than Elliott and so much better than Kyle Larson? Like, what are you going to do with Larson and Elliott when I assume you feel pretty good about the other two guys?
Larson, I probably won't have. He hasn't qualified better than 14th. I think 14th is his best finishing position here in this car. He has struggled for whatever reason. But, you know, I could very well get burnt by that because he is Kyle Larson.
Right.
You know, and he struggled on super speedways. And, you know, he was very much a threat in Atlanta this past weekend. So, you know.
Don't you think we can count on the odds getting better, though? Probably if we wanted to get on him post PQ.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but he could win the poll.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You know, the numbers don't say it. All right. But, you know, it's Kyle Larson. So, but again, like, what do you think? He's 11-1, might be able to get what, 15, 16?
Yeah, maybe a little bit better.
I don't think you're going to get a 20.
Yeah, probably right.
So, but right now he's a pass for me.
Elliott? He's right there, like on the cusp.
I have more willingness right now to bet Chase Elliott than I do SVG and Kyle Larson. I just think that he's finding his comfort zone with this car, and it's showing in the results. And I think you're going to start seeing some of the old Chase Elliott on the road courses in the old car when he was really dominant. And I probably will have some Chase.
One thing I forgot to ask you, does Coda compare close to any other road course for you?
I mean, you would probably have to say, I mean, obviously Sonoma or Watkins Glen, but I couldn't tell you which one, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. After Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott,
so what are you going to do?
I would be closer to betting Chase Elliott than I would be to betting Kyle Larson. I'm with you there. I'm not going to have a Kyle Larson ticket in my pocket unless I have no choice to, because he makes me have to. Like, if he qualifies fourth, then I'm going to have a Kyle Larson ticket, and it's probably going to be at a worse number, unfortunately, but I would feel much better about that than betting him and him qualifying 19th and never really being a factor in the race and just throwing away money. You know what I mean?
All right.
Chase Elliott, I'm with you.
Now, I do feel that of the drivers we have discussed so far,
yeah,
if we do happen to see tire wear, I think it's an advantage for Chris Bell, Larson, and Reddick.
Yeah, I'll buy that. With the people that we've talked about,
yeah.
That makes sense. Chase Elliott is a much tougher. I mean, everything about this guy is going in the right direction. Everything. So I don't know, like if he improves on the way that he has ran, because he was not a bad guy in 2024. I mean, his average rank on road courses basically was like seventh in speed.
Mhm.
So even in 2024,
And
what- like I don't know. I worry about other guys more than him, like a Dinger, like a Chastain, maybe. But I mean, Elliott could be that guy to just drop his ball bag and be like, "Yeah, remember what I could do on road courses a couple of years ago? I'm back."
right. But the year he didn't race here, Jordan Taylor raced his car, and it was in contention, doing very well. It was a very good car until they decided to rough up Jordan.
Was that the year that he got hurt in the accident?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on him. I don't know yet, but we might be looking at 13-1 or whatever the best available number is you can get
I,
on him.
I don't think he slips past 20 if he qualifies bad either. But I think he's going to qualify well.
If he qualifies in the top 3 rows, what do you think his number is?
7 or 8. Well, I mean, that's probably starting 5th or 6th, not first.
Right. Yeah, he's right there for me, for sure. I'm with you.
What do you think Chase goes to if he gets pole?
5 or 50, maybe. I don't. You think it's going to be cheaper than that?
I think it's 350.
I mean, before
I think that's the number. I think they're basing it on number.
Before I met you, he was plus 180 to win on road courses. When like he couldn't be beat. That's how low his number was at times, plus 180. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Dinger 14-1, Ross Chastain 14-1. We might as well throw Ty Gibbs in there too, 17-1. I think all 3 of these guys could win the race. It would not shock me in the least. I mean, Allmendinger's been phenomenal here. Chastain has been phenomenal here. Gibbs has been phenomenal here. I'm sorry, Dinger hasn't been phenomenal here, but he was phenomenal here last year.
He's been phenomenal here in Xfinity.
Yeah, he finished 6th here last year. I mean, he's phenomenal probably in Xfinity on every track because it's Xfinity road courses.
But I want you to go back and watch this, man, because like 10 minutes ago, man, you were just bashing Ty Gibbs and you just used the word phenomenal with Ty Gibbs.
I was not bashing him. What do you mean?
You were saying the guy's old and hasn't won and he's been around forever and so on and so forth. You just called him phenomenal.
The only reason why I brought it up is because we can both agree you're high on Ty Gibbs. He's been at the level for a couple of years now, and this is Zilich's first start. Gibbs hasn't won a race. He's in top-tier equipment. I think it's a tough ask to expect Connor Zilich to do the same in his first start. That's all I was saying. I respect Ty Gibbs and his pedigree. But
I will say though, it's a downgrade for Ty Gibbs if we do see tire wear.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I would say to you, out of all 3, out of Ross Chastain, Dinger, and Gibbs, my gut says Chastain has the best shot to finish the best here. And then after him, I would say probably Gibbs, and then after him, Allmendinger. But do I think on the right day, all three of these guys could win the race, I think they could. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I would also say Ross Chastain would probably be just off the top of my head the guy that I would bet first of the three. I might get there on him. I'm not sure. I have to think about it a little more. But like I would say I would favor him at 14-1 before I would favor Dinger at 14-1 for sure. You're getting a little bit better of a price on Gibbs. I would probably rank Gibbs second there in terms of me getting on him. Where are you at with these three guys?
I'm going to bet all three. And the reason I'm going to bet all three is because I don't think that you're going to get a great number on them if they don't qualify well. Like, again, it'll still be like around 20, 21, not bad. But I think the chances are much greater that, the numbers disappear because they qualify well. Gibbs has qualified really good here. Dinger, not so much. Chastain's been pretty solid qualifying here.
Are those the last three guys that you plan on betting?
Yes.
Because that's 6, maybe 7.
Yeah. I might have a lot of legs in my parlay.
So you're out on Bowman?
I am out on Alex Bowman.
Why?
I think he's a placement better. I mean, for placement bets. Guy hasn't led a lap here. He's not necessarily a great road course driver. If you look at the rest of his results at other road courses, he's not bad by any means either. But this is definitely by far his best one. I think it's just a case of, everybody was high on Danny Suarez last week. All right. Talking about how great he was at Atlanta. A win, a fifth, a fourth, third, whatever the hell it was. All these top fives, et cetera, et cetera. Variance caught up to him. And I think Variance is going to catch up to Alex Bowman because, again, he's a good road course driver. I wouldn't put him in the top 10. If you told me to list my top 10 road course drivers, he wouldn't be in my top 10. Would he be in yours?
Overall?
Yeah.
No.
And I just think, regressions do. Can't continue, to perform this great at this track, just like Danny last week at Atlanta.
Do you remember what the sentiment was on the tire wear on that Chicago street course?
Well, I mean, he won it because he changed tires and passed people, right?
I know, but like, was tire wear a very big thing during that race?
I think that one more lap, he would have lost that race.
Who was coming?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure one more lap and he would have. It might have been Chris Bell. I could be completely wrong though.
Okay.
So,
I'm with you. I wouldn't put him in my top 10 road course drivers overall, but man, he's been really good here.
Right. And I don't think the number's going to change much on him because I don't think he's going to go out and qualify extremely well.
I think he qualified in the top 5, though, 2 out of the 3 in the next gen car.
Right. Do you think he's going to be less than 10-1?
No.
Right.
Not if he qualifies 5th. No.
Right.
No.
Like, I don't think he has a shot at the pole or anything like that. I just think the number is going to be there live.
Okay. Yeah, it could be. I'm not against that. I mean, it could be there live. It might be a little bit less because if he qualifies where he has qualified in the next gen car here, that 22-1 is probably going to be like 14 or 15, maybe 12. I mean, you're definitely going to miss getting value on them, but you're probably right. You're probably going to be able to bet that 12 or 13 all day if you really want to.
So, like, all right. First off, it was Tyler Reddick, not Chris Bell, who finished second in Chicago. If Bowman gets the pole, Reddick's on the outside, Willie B's behind him, and SVG is fourth. How good are you going to feel about Alex Bowman staying up in front?
Yeah, not great.
Not great at all, are you?
Not great.
No, not great at all. So, like, I would just rather bet him live.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Because then, like, if let's say he starts up there and he falls from first to fifth, or second to sixth, or third to fifth, or whatever, like, you're not going to feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Chris Buescher, 26-1, KB 30-1. KB's been pretty good here. He's got a top 9 average finish in the next gen car. Finished 8th here last year, 6th the year before. Chris Buescher. Where are you, Chris? Okay, middle of the road. 20, 17, and 11 in the 3 races in the next gen car. Yeah, I don't know, Coop. I mean, I guess I see a world where if it all broke right, KB could win.
KB hasn't been fast. I think he's done very well with strategy and getting good finishes. If you look at his speed numbers, I don't think he's been anything to write home about.
I really don't have much interest in either of these guys.
No, me either. I don't have interest in anybody else, really. Chase Briscoe, keep an eye on him. Truex did qualify and run this car well. Toyota's been good. You know, coming out of Xfinity, Chase Briscoe was really known, as a really good road course driver. It hasn't translated to when he was in Stewart-Haas. Maybe it does now that he's into, a JGR car. But he'll definitely be somebody I have an eye on.
Michael McDowell, I mean, yeah, maybe if he wasn't driving for Spire, right? I mean,
yeah.
The guy, we had a great thing going with Michael McDowell for a little bit on these road courses, but
yeah,
I have no interest anymore. That's for sure.
None whatsoever.
Yep, I'm with you. Daniel Suarez, 35-1, no interest. I know you don't either. Actually,
wait a minute.
Actually, hold on. I just remember what I said for a minute. Okay. Daniel Suarez has not been bad on road courses. He's actually been pretty good. I would have to go back to see what actually I have it right here.
Yeah, but what if Danny gets that chassis? That Trackhouse #1 car, buddy.
Stop.
How are you going to pass that up, man? There's a chance. He has a 25% chance that he could get that. You're going to pass that up?
35. All joking.
Up a 35-1 when he could have the #1 chassis, man.
I hate you. All joking aside, he actually has not. He's been really good in the next gen car on road courses.
He has.
But I would have to go back and.
I think he's trending the wrong way, though. Could be wrong, but I think he's trending.
So just last year on road courses in general, how many road courses? There's Coda, Sonoma, Watkins Glen. I guess we don't count. There's how many Rovals are there? Charlotte. Is Charlotte the only one?
Yeah, Charlotte's the only one.
And then we got the street course, and that's it.
Yeah. And then this year we have Mexico.
So at the 3 actual road courses last year, he finished 17th at Coda, 14th at Sonoma, 17th at Watkins Glen. So I mean, he probably.
I think that's why I said trending down.
Yeah,
trending the wrong way.
Yeah, 2023 was a banger for him, though.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He must not have had that chassis last year.
Yeah. All right. What about Austin Cindric? Where are you at on him? 37-1.
I think he could qualify well.
He's got 2 top 8 finishes here in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I can't. I'll just watch him live. That's a great number, but again, he's kind of disappointed on these road courses compared to what he was in the Xfinity League.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. Joey Logano, 40. You know, Joey's kind of sneaky, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if it's just because he's there to pick up the pieces at the end or if he just
cut to his face, man. Are you going to put your daughter's hard-earned college money on Joey Logano at a road course?
I'm not betting him.
Okay. Then don't talk about him.
All right, but could we? All right, fine.
You have no interest in Joey Logano.
I'm not betting Joey Logano, but he's a little sneaky on road courses. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Denny Hamlin, 50-1. Get out of my face. Ryan Blaney at 50-1. Also, get out of my face.
I mean, those drivers could be 75-1 on Sunday if they're already at 50. I'm surprised they're at that number.
I don't really see anybody else worth talking about. What Cole Custer's driving? What car now?
He's driving a Haas factory car that's basically a 4th RFK car. We'll talk about Cole on Thursday.
Oh, he's in the 41?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, I respect him on road courses for sure.
I mean, in Xfinity you do, but I mean,
right.
Briscoe was really good. Austin Cindric was really good,
Right.
I don't think, Cole Custer's going to be better than either one of them, when it comes to Cup. So
just looking down the list,
he could get a top 10. I don't think he can win.
Yeah, I'll buy that. One more guy that, I would have to go back and look at what he's done, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did Bubba have a good year, a better year than you and I would have thought on road courses last year?
Yes, better, but better. Better. Yeah.
I'm just asking if he had a better. I remember him over exceeding our expectations.
Yeah, better
on road courses last year.
I think he finished 10th here last year or something. Finished pretty respectable. I know he qualified in the top 10. So,
I mean, there's just nobody else worth betting. Doesn't matter if you're going to get 400-1 on somebody. They're just not.
I mean, Bubba would be a live bet,
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that's it, man. So guys that Coop and I are deadlock in agreement on that we'll be looking towards in the outright market: Tyler Reddick, Will Byron, Chris Bell, possibly Elliott.
And then I'll take Dinger, Chastain, and Gibbs.
And I might be on Chastain at the least, but I'm still going to dig in more. And as of right now, you and I are off the SVG train, I guess.
Right now.
Yeah.
Real quick, Xfinity. Do you have any interest? It's basically a 3-dog race.
Will Byron. Who are the other two guys?
Zilich and Chastain.
What are the odds?
200, 350, I think, and 350.
Well, you just bet them all. You bet all three, right?
Easy.
Just get all three to 10-1, and you bet all three.
It's going to take a lot to get them 10-1.
Yeah, it is.
Or do you just bet Zilich and bet Byron and Chastain live?
Is he in that? He's in that same car?
Is in the Junior Motorsports car. Chastain's in one too.
What race did what road course did Zilich? Was he in? Okay. I don't know. I haven't even gotten there yet. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, those were Caesar's odds. So you might get a little bit better somewhere else.
So he's 2-1, you said?
That's what it was when it opened. Could be worse now. Who knows? Let me see.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I can tell you right now. Plus 170. Holy fucking A.
Yeah, 3 and 3 for the other two.
I mean, come on, man. Come on, man.
So if he puts it on the pole, he's going to be minus 150, 175.
I just go to college.
So that's what you've been doing during the day that you've been all quiet, man. You've been practicing your flipping of burgers.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You told me you were looking into, another source of income, and I guess that's what you've been doing.
That's it. I wanted to see how fast can I fry French fries,
Uh-huh.
It turns out it's the same time every time,
Right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed flip, throw the salt in with the left hand, right-handed flip. Yeah, I'm dead. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. All right. We'll be back on Thursday. Actually, tomorrow night, Holden and Sean, I think, will be live again for the NBA show. On Thursday, Tommy and Johnny will go live for their MMA podcast. While they're doing that, Coop and I will be recording the NASCAR podcast. It will debut as soon as the MMA podcast is over. Coop and I will go down all the props, all the betting markets like we used to do on Friday nights for you guys. And that's it. Hopefully make some money this weekend. Coop and I will see you guys back here on Thursday. Don't forget, hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are not a member. We don't ask for much. Literally all we ask for. And we'll see you guys on Thursday night. For Coop, I'm Keg. We're out.